Hello and welcome to Chuck's Culture Channel, your place for lively conversation on the lively arts in St. Louis and beyond. And my guest in this episode is Carrie Houk. She's the Executive Artistic Director of the Tennessee Williams Festival of St. Louis, and we're talking about the 2024 festival lineup, which runs from August 8th through August 18th and features shows on not one but two stages, along with Williams Scholar panels, a walking tour of Grand Center, and even an open mic night with a Tennessee Williams theme. Cat on a Hot Tin Roof opens August 8th at the Grandel Theatre in Grand Center, and Life Upon the Wicked Stage, a night of early Williams one-acts along with songs from the Vaudeville era, takes place at the Curtain Call Lounge at the Fabulous Fox, just a couple of blocks south from the Grandel. For more information, check out the links below. And now, here's Carrie. Okay, so as promised, here's Carrie Houk, and we are going to talk about the 2024 Williams Festival. The big gun in the festival is, of course, Tennessee Williams, Cat on a Hot Tin Roof. Tell us about the upcoming production of that.
Well, we wanted to wait until we really knew what we were doing before we did one of Tennessee's really biggest plays. And, frankly, I was going to hold it for our 10th year, but we thought, why not? I got the director who was really on my wish list, Michael Wilson. He's, for those of you who might not know, he's a known regional theater and Broadway director. And in addition to Horton Foote, Tennessee Williams is one of his specialties. He's a Williams interpreter of note. And I've known of Michael long before I met him, and I met him accidentally actually at Captain Jack's Wharf in Provincetown at their festival. And Captain Jack's, for those of you who do know Tennessee Williams lore, is a funky little wharf with cabins on it that sticks out into the bay, where Williams was known to have worked on Glass Menagerie and A Streetcar Named Desire. Okay. And he would stay there. He was a seasonal visitor. So I got Michael Wilson. He's wanted to come to us since he did the Brian Batt one-man show, Dear Mr. Williams, here in 2019. For those of you who saw that, that was a big hit. And Michael and I have been communicating since then. And when he said yes, the rest really fell into place. We had auditions. I did, have some actors in my head for, my wish list. And I can't tell you, yesterday was the end of our first week of rehearsal. And I told the cast that, I couldn't have thought of a better cast for the show. I mean, I'm a casting director by trade of like many decades, over 40 years. And to me, the casting in this play is what's really going to make it magic. I mean, and they all just click and they all understand the play and they understand these human beings who need to be understood. They are not caricatures. They're flesh and blood. And I think that people will see that they will connect to this play as much as they'll be entertained by this play. They're really going to connect to this family in many different ways, on many different levels.
That's great, because Williams' characters, he wrote such big, dramatic, larger-than-life characters. I think it is easy to let them slip over the edge.
Yeah.
So that is at the Grandel Theatre here in Grand Center, which everybody can see.
We're happy to be back. We haven't been at the Grandel since the year before the pandemic, 2019, and we're really happy. I considered our artistic home.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is a theater that's been through a lot of changes, and you guys have been nomadic somewhat it's nice to be back.
Yeah, we have been nomadic and we'll continue to be, but I think the Grandel will always be our base. Yeah, I do like to float around a little bit and bring our work to other communities in St. Louis. And, as we get bigger and have more of a fiscal foundation, we'll be able to do more of that and more throughout the year. I mean, that's my wish.
Okay. This provides me with a natural segue because the Grandel is, of course, in Grand Center here in St. Louis. And for those of you who are not in St. Louis, Grand Center is effectively the performing arts / arts hub of the city. these days. A lot of major arts organizations down here, not just theater. And that is the way it was, of course, 100 to 120 years ago. And that is the underlying theme of the other big thing you're doing this year, Life Upon the Wicked Stage, which is really unusual, if not unique.
Correct. We're lucky enough to have Mary Strauss as a good friend, and she knows how much I love the Curtain Call Lounge, and I think we've been there before with various events. And there are three one acts that I knew quite well. One we did in year one in our rooming house plays, so we're resurrecting that. The second one, second and third, the second one we did on the radio during our downstage time when we couldn't be live. And then the third one we've never done. In fact, the third one was slightly unknown to me. But what I found when I was reading them, I love his one acts, by the way, and there's a plethora of them. And because we have a fabulous resident scholar, Tom Mitchell, we have access to certain pieces that haven't even been published yet. So as long as we get permission, we try and go for them. But all three of these are and have been produced before. So the thing that I noticed about these one acts is there's a running character throughout all three at different stages of her life. Tennessee did not write them at the same time. And he doesn't even name them the same name, but they're clearly, she's Annabelle in the first play. So we're going to keep her as Annabelle in all three, even though in the second and third one, in the scripts, her name changes, but you can see that they're the same woman. And she's an actress or actor, as we would say today, but in those days, they referred to female actors as actresses. Yes. And Annabelle is that. And she's on the road. And when you read the scripts, you'll see that the cities that Tennessee is describing in the plays, he doesn't call them St. Louis, but they're St. Louis. And for those of us who grew up here and know our community, we know that they were in the theater district of St. Louis, which was I guess they would call it the Grand Avenue Theater District in the old days. Now it's Grand Center. So I sort of gave an umbrella theme to the festival of Grand Center then and now.
Okay.
So anyway, I love the three one acts and they're fabulous as one acts, but I thought, Linda is like Linda. See, I'm calling her the name in the second one. Annabelle is an actor, and we've envisioned her as a song and dance girl. Oh. Okay, and I thought, boy, the plays are fairly short. We want to give people their money's worth, so we're interjecting. She's part of a troupe. And we're in the first play, she is with a traveling company. In the second play, a couple of her friends from the company come and visit her. She's retired to a housewife, and they try and lure her back. And then in the third play, I don't want to give away too much, but she's clearly in show business, and she's clearly, we think, more of a vaudeville bent than a serious actress. Mm-hmm. Or maybe both. Or maybe both. So we've made some of the other characters members of the troupe in between. We have I call her Mrs. Weinstein, Donna Weinstein.
I know Donna well, yes.
Grand dames of our city. Yes. She has a role in the second play, but she also is part of the troupe who will be our mid-play, in between our intra-act entertainment. Mm-hmm. Julia Crump, who has been with our company since year one, on and off, will be in the second play as well, and also part of our entertainment. And we have a new actor who I've never worked with, but he's been so close to getting cast with us a number of times, Dominic DeCicco. And he is a former musical theater major from Webster University. And the only reason we haven't cast him yet is with, he's still quite young, and he's been too young for the roles that he's gone up for, but I'm really happy we found a spot for him. And then the pièce de résistance is Gary Wayne Barker, who's a fabulous St. Louis actor director. And I've asked him so many times to participate, and he's never really been available. So here we are.
And the songs are going to be mostly vaudeville era songs, which, as we were talking before I started recording, very dear to my heart, certainly.
From what I hear, Chuck, you know what you're talking about. So we continue with the vaudeville theme in the festival with one of our 4 panels at our Scholars Conference is on vaudeville and focusing on the Grand Avenue Theater District of during the years Tennessee Williams was here. And then even at our open mic, closing out our first weekend, we really want to give that flavor to what people do, but they don't have to. I mean, they could sing a rock song if they wanted to, but we really want to, we're suggesting they do Tennessee Williams inspired pieces. It could be a monologue, a poem, a short story, any kind of song they want, but we'll also have material available and a pianist if they want to just do something on the fly.
Okay.
And also have monologues and poetry, and that'll be back at the curtain call so people can eat and drink and party and celebrate the closing of our first weekend. So in addition, we know Cat's going to be an amazing production. I mean, we really do, but I don't want to give the short end of the stick to the other things that we're doing because they're little gems. And sadly, our festival only happens right now once a year, and we only get 8 performances of each show. So you better act fast because the Curtain Call Lounge is a small venue.
Yes.
For those of you who haven't been there, I mean, we want to make sure that everyone has good sight lines, which will be more challenging than if it were a cabaret show. So we probably only have about seating for 70 so that everyone can really see and enjoy.
Yeah, the Curtain Call Lounge is affiliated with and attached to the Fox Theater here in St. Louis. And it's a nice space, but yes, it is small. So
but it's so like throwback, and it's luscious and beautiful and red velvety and brassy. Has gorgeous, authentic French posters, and it's a nightclub. I mean, it's a throwback. It's really, I'm so happy to be able to have the privilege of bringing our work into that beautiful venue.
So the Williams Festival has a lot going on this year. You've got Cat on a Hot Tin Roof. You've got the one act Life Upon the Wicked Stage. You have scholar panels and a Williams-themed open mic night. And you've also got a walking tour of Grand Center, right?
We do. And the walking tour, our scholar, Tom Mitchell, and our friend of the festival, Dan McGuire, have done so much research on the Grand Avenue Theater District. And I've read the narrative, and it is just, it's so extraordinarily researched, but fun. I mean, it's not dry. And there were theaters there that most of us never knew existed.
Yes.
And some of them have been repurposed into other, like the On God Hotel, I think was the Missouri Theater.
Yes, there was the Missouri. Well, there was the Missouri Theater and the Missouri Theater building.
Correct.
And I believe the Missouri Theater is long gone, but the building is now the hotel.
I think the theater was behind, for those of you who know the On God, behind the On God, where there's now a big parking lot.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's where the theater structure was. So as we'll all meet at the Grandel that morning and then walk the tour, and you'll see, what was at each venue, starting, on the north of Grandel, like where the symphony is, and then working our way. And there were some even on those side streets.
Yes.
That on property that St. Louis University now owns. But again, it's fascinating. And you almost, just reading the narrative and having them talk me through it, you almost feel the ghosts of the neighborhood there. I mean, you can imagine, I look at the avenue now as like through completely different eyes. just imagining what it might have been like then, and hoping that in the future it comes back to that level of, you know, thriving entertainment and liveliness and, you know, joy of life. And yeah.
Joie de vivre. Yeah.
Joie de vivre. Joie de vivre.
We have to a large extent gotten back there, but yeah, in fact, maybe joie de vivre would be a theme of the Williams Festival.
Yeah.
Carrie, thanks for taking some time to talk to me today. I know we talked before I started recording. This is a very busy week, and but
we're in the home stretch.
Great. And everybody out there, listen, check the video description field down below the video here, and you will find all the links you need to the Tennessee Williams Festival St. Louis 2024. Everything you need to know, just click on one of those links and you'll get it. Make sure you tell your friends about the Williams Festival and about Chuck's Culture Channel here on YouTube. And I will see you next time. Bye-bye.